Other news, a jury in Wisconsin has convicted the Milwaukee judge, Hannah Dugan is her name, of felony obstruction for interfering with federal immigration officers who were trying to arrest an illegal immigrant right outside her courtroom back in April. All right, Olivianna Calmes has been in court throughout this trial. And Olivianna, what led up to the verdict and what happens from here?
Yeah, Anthony, after about 6 hours of deliberations, the jury came back with a split verdict. They found her guilty on that felony obstruction charge you mentioned, but they acquitted her on the second misdemeanor count, which was concealing an individual to prevent arrest. Now, over 4 days of testimony, we heard from 23 witnesses, 19 called by the government and 4 by the defense. Prosecutors argue that Dugan was, quote, not a confused or paranoid judge, but a frustrated and angry judge. They say she took it upon herself to confront federal agents, send them over to the chief judge's office, creating an opening for the man, a Mexican national charged with battery, to escape. Dugan then guided him and his attorney out her courtroom through a private jury door and into a private hallway. Agents did eventually arrest that man outside the courthouse after a chase. Federal prosecutors repeatedly pointed out an audio recording from that morning where Dugan said, "I'll do it, I'll get the heat." They told jurors Dugan was still guilty of obstruction, even if she personally disagreed with the government's immigration policies. The defense argued Dugan was confused, though, by unclear and unfinished policies when it came to ICE making arrests in the courthouse. Both sides weighed in after the verdict.
Obviously disappointed. The mixed verdict is the big thing from the defense perspective. I would just say the case is a long way from over.
The defendant exercised her constitutional right to put the government to its proof. We met that burden, and the jury has found the defendant guilty. It will now be up to the judge to determine what are the appropriate consequences.
Now, the judge didn't set a sentencing date yesterday, but for that count, Dugan does face up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Back to you guys.
Okay, Olivianna, thank you very much for that report.